Hey everyone, I hope you guys hung out and stuck with me. So I tried to go live when I mentioned the original time and Facebook shut me down. So anyway, apparently I had to be like verified or authenticated, but I think what they're trying to do is push you into not using, like I use my cell phone or my iPad to record, but they actually want us to get a third-party software because I'm a business, yada yada yada. But so far, then I went back and forth, went through their steps, and all of a sudden they let me do it. I did not download software, but I don't know. They say if you have a certain reach, because I have a lot of followers, they want to move me in another direction. And then every time I try to do something, it wants me to buy ads, do this, do that. And I just want to make an arrangement with you guys. I don't want to put an ad on. I just want to have you guys come play with me. So I don't know. So who knows? Facebook is a moneymaker. And I mean, I even tried to at first just post on my original post where I showed you that arrangement. And they were like, no, you can't even do that. So it was bizarre that they wouldn't let me do anything. So anyway, but after going back and forth, I went to the Business Help Center, etc. Anyway, this is a lot of minutia you guys don't need to hear about. But Facebook, wow, I mean, I thought, I've been on Facebook for years and I've had my business page for a few years. And you know, I'm almost at 10,000 followers, but that's why, because I have a big reach. They want to move me in another direction. So I apologize for the delay, but here we are. We're going to make this today. Let me bring this up on my iPad so I can make sure you're seeing me okay and everything. Make sure I'm turned down. Okay. You guys, we're going to make this today. Let me show you. Isn't this cute? Isn't this cute? Okay, what I want to show you guys, this arrangement is double-sided, so if you wanted it to go on a kitchen table, dining table, etc. For Easter, this is adorable. But the reason I'm making this arrangement today is because it's completely neutral. I see a few people jumping on. Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Middle of the day, but I'm working, so I thought if I'm working, I might as well go on and spend some time with you guys. So, what's important about this arrangement, number one, it's in a little wood crate. You guys, I found this at Home Goods. You can find the little crates in the little basket and crates section. So these came in sets of 2. And perfect for a little farmhouse arrangement, right? It's a little rustic, but like with the flowers, I try to be a little elegant. But what I love about this arrangement, you can use this all year round. So right now, it kind of screams spring. So this is something I could put out right after Christmas because it's just greens and white and neutral. And that's how I decorate in my own house. Right after Christmas, when all the glitter and the color goes away, I bring out greens and whites. And then my furniture is pretty neutral. I use a lot of black and white and pillows, etc., which is kind of trendy right now, okay? So when you're talking florals and arrangements, okay, try to stay with neutrals. Every time I start adding, like for spring, pinks and yellows and purples, they don't sell. People are like, I don't use that. Some people don't seasonal decorate where they bring in all those colors. So I tend to stay neutral and I have much better luck. Doesn't mean you need to stay neutral. So let's say you're setting your Easter table this weekend and you want to make an arrangement. And that's why I'm on here doing this. In case you guys want to go out, grab a simple little basket or crate and make something. This will show you what you can do and how you can jazz it up. I don't have a lot of Easter stuff in my studio right now because I'm just about done with Easter, but let me show you what you can do. Also, this is a little crate. This container is a rectangle. Don't think you have to use a crate. If you guys think this is too rustic, go with a basket. Go with a ceramic vase. You can find ceramic containers, and you guys don't stick to just the container aisle. Go to the kitchen aisle. Sometimes they have cute little ceramic like casserole dishes. I know it sounds funny, but if you find a white one, you guys use it for your arrangement. Anything can be a container for an arrangement. So that's my little spiel on your containers. So this can translate into a lot of different containers, not just this wood box, right? So this is what we're going to make, and I'm going to show you how I came about these flowers. But what I want to talk about, and I'm not going to do it on air once I finish this, but if this is Easter for this weekend, just go buy some of those little foam eggs. You can even go to the dollar store. And if you watched my video yesterday, I I talked about like when you cut a piece off of your, well, let me see, I've got one in here. When you cut stems off of your flowers off your stems and you're left with these, save them, stick a foam end on the end, and then look at you guys. When you do that, you can now stick it right into your arrangement. You don't even have to attach it. Just place it in and you've got your little Easter egg. So you can do a little bunny, a couple little eggs, take it through Easter, and then when you're done, just pull them out. You have your arrangements you can continue using right into spring and summer. Then, let's say summer comes. So you're like, this is pretty springy with the green and white. Well, I think green and white goes all year round, but you want to warm it up for summer. You guys, add a few poppies, add a few sunflowers. Same way, you can take the stems, cut them a little bit shorter, just gently place them in here. Doesn't mean you've got to glue them in and secure them, but you're just taking it into summer then. 4th of July, put a couple little flags in here. I thought I did have flags. I organized, so have you guys ever organized and you can't find anything? I'm like, where's all my goodies? But let me show you. Here's an example. These I'm going to get ready to make up. I just stuck them in a vase. Aren't those cute little strawberries? So these are little strawberry picks. But look at this. If it's summer and I just want to add a little touch of summer, guys, add a couple strawberry picks. How cute. So the sky's the limit. If you like violets, if you like sunflowers, if you like poppies, whatever summer flower, add it. Add American flags, the little mini ones. You can get them at the dollar store. Stick them in an arrangement like this, take it into the next season. Fall, add some gourds. I'm just saying. So I would rather build an arrangement that is completely neutral and then just add a couple pops of holiday color to it. It's a great way to go. Hi Frenchie, good to see you on here. Okay, so let's get started. This is what it's going to look like, and we're going to start now and build it. So let me put these back. Take a sip of my tea. How you guys doing today? Let me see who's watching. We've got Diane, Frenchie, Gwen, Huda. A few of you on. Thanks for joining me middle of the day. And I'll probably, I keep saying this forever. I'll get a schedule out of when I'm going live. It's sporadic, you guys. And today I tried to get on there. I thought, oh, I'm doing good. At least I'm giving them a little bit of a heads up. And then Facebook went sideways. So hopefully that doesn't come again. I think they try to push you into doing their thing. And then when you try and keep going back and forth, they finally say, all right, let her go live. Okay, so have my wood container. I put in a tiny block of styrofoam. I didn't fill up the whole thing. I didn't bring it level to the top. There's a reason I don't bring my styrofoam level to the top, because if it's level on the top, you're going to need more flowers. So if I'm coming up on top, look at this. So let's say I'm putting them up at this level. Do you see how big this arrangement is going to get? But if I keep them low, then I'm just filling up the opening. So that's another little tip there, you guys. So put a little block in the bottom and you're fine. Remember, I secured it. I can pick it up with my phone, so I know this isn't going to come out and pop out. Especially if you're a maker and you sell, you don't want someone grabbing their arrangements, maybe lifting up underneath florals, and the whole thing pops out. Don't want that to happen. Okay, next. Okay, so I got this. I have my foam in. Let me show you what I use. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Always find elements that you can break down and get more bang for your buck. So in this, I am using, I'll show you what they look like before I cut them apart. I already did a little prep for you guys. So I'm using this fern bush. This came from Hobby Lobby. So what I did with this fern bush is I cut every single piece off of it. And there's another reason why I did that. So I've got all these little fern pieces, okay? So ferns like this one, you can see when you put one fern in a pot, it's variegated. It's lighter in the middle, goes to dark green on the outside, right? But when I add them to this, I'm not going to put a whole solid fern bush in this and build around it. I'm going to piece it in. We're going to use mostly this whole bush, but I also want to be able to take like a dark green piece and add a light green to it. So this way I can decide where the color sits in my arrangement. So we cut that apart. We're going to use that. Then I want to talk about 3 kinds of greens. When I do my florals, I try to use 3 kinds of greens. You can use one, and a lot of people like that little monochromatic look, but I tend to want to use at least 3 if I can. Sometimes I don't, because it adds interest to your arrangement. It adds color and light and dark. So even though it's green, you're still adding light and dark with your greens. So I have my fern, which is several kinds of colors of greens. Then I'm going to add this eucalyptus. This is Hobby Lobby too. Do you see the light and the dark? So when you're looking at flowers, you guys, look at the light and the dark and the colors. So we're going to add that, but then I want to bring in some olive color. This is more drab, but look how it pops off of it. So if you're adding 3, it adds interest. And I bet you didn't even notice that when I held up that arrangement, but you're going to see when we get it done. So I took all 3 of these. These were all 3 from Hobby Lobby. So I like to tend to, when I'm doing the lives that's not a part of membership, use some things that you guys can just go out and get yourself. So if you want, these are at Hobby Lobby right now. You can go out and get them and you can make this similar arrangement. Okay, so the eucalyptus I showed you that looks like this, and this is a good deal. I cut the price off of it. How much were these? 16 or something? I don't know, somewhere in that range, under 20, half price. They were half price last week. So it's a good deal for fillers. So I took it, and look at it. I cut all the pieces off. So I cut it down. And then the next thing we're going to use are these ranunculus. I love these, you guys. These are great little filler flowers. And we, of course, cut all these down. Now, these are from Hobby Lobby, but I stock up all the time, so I'll buy dozens of them. So when I went to my local one, they didn't have any more of these, so I don't know if they discontinued them or what, but I think you can get them at Michael's too or Joann's. You just have to look around. They're a pretty common flower. So I took these bushes, cut them all down. Okay. Then that drab green one, like this, cut it all down. So I have all my piles sitting here. It makes it much easier to build if they're all laying out. You can see what you got. Okay, so bring this forward. Now let's talk about the big blooms. Aren't these pretty? Okay, you guys, TJ Maxx or Home Goods. They sell these bundles of flowers, and I think they're bundled with like a little bit of raffia or something. And I think a lot of times they're thinking, oh, either something you can easily just put in a vase, you could turn it into something for a bridal bouquet, whatever. I pull them apart, use them in my wreaths, use them in my centerpieces. They're a good value. They're usually like $12.99, 13 bucks, and you get like, 6-8 blooms in them. So per flower, it's, under $2 a flower. It's pretty good, and they're pretty big. So I bought these, and there were some little ones that you guys will see, and as you watch me, I'm going to do more with some of the little ones. Let me show you them. So if you see these when you're in those stores, pick them up. Now look at how many rose heads are in that bundle. Huge, right? And this was $12.99. I'm not using any of these in here, but if you couldn't find these guys, these are similar size, so you could use these. So we'll set those over here. We're not going to use them. But I just break this bundle apart, and we're going to use them in here. So if not those, another good alternative, if you can't find those, because they do tend to go pretty quick, just to let you know, Michael's and Hobby Lobby, they sell these big bunches, and they usually have some buds on them. So you can get these. These are actually a little bit bigger head on them than these, and they're a little bit looser, but these will look good just as well. So any large bush of roses or peonies, whatever you can find, substitute for a big flower. And you don't even have to use a rose type flower. You want to use just plain old sunflowers. Maybe you want to make a sunflower arrangement. Any type, a daisy, whatever, make it your own. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do with this as I get organized here, and I'm going to use my stemming machine right here, you guys. If you get into floral design, I'll tell you this is a lifesaver, but you can literally just stick these right in. Most of these stems are pretty sturdy, and it would hold the weight. Add a little bit of glue to the end. That is like totally fine, but for me, I use my machine because I know they're not coming out. So we're going to cut these down a little bit and just start adding them. Easy peasy. You guys are going to go, I'm never buying a centerpiece again. So we start with one right in the center. This is a pretty easy design. There's going to be 2 in front, 2 in back. So it's going to be a pattern of 5. 1 in each corner, 1 in the middle. This is the easiest centerpiece in the world to make, you guys. Also, you have any brides out there, any brides watching, or you know any friends getting married or relatives? You guys, this is a great centerpiece for a wedding. So yesterday we did the cylinder vases, which was a lot of fun. But these are fun too. It's like easy, easy, easy. So, and not too bad. I mean, you can usually make one of these, depending on what you spend on your flowers, you know, anywhere from $50. Probably 50 is the cheapest you'll get on this. It depends on how cheap your container is. But if you go to a florist, it's going to be significantly more. I don't know of many florists that'll do a centerpiece for a wedding for $50 or under, so hopefully you guys can do your own. Okay, so we're going to add these guys. And how do I know how much to cut off? I've been doing this so long. I just want these to come up a couple inches, just a couple inches above the lip of the container. So there's my pattern, 5. That's it. That's how I start. Okay, so let's throw our scraps away. Okay, next thing I'm going to go on to, flowers are last, by the way. My blooms are always last. I always add all my greens first. So we're going to start with the fern. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, combine these, a dark and a light. It's going to add that contrast that you need in this arrangement to make it look more interesting. Not going to be so boring if I used all dark green. It's what I like to do. I'm all about the color. Even when there's no color, you guys, this is very neutral. But I'm still all about the color. We're going to slightly bend these, just a little bit. We're going to give them a natural curve. I have never met a fern that grows straight. Maybe when it's first coming out the middle, but as they grow, they droop, right? So when you're doing your arrangements, mimic nature. Mimic nature. That's my biggest hint, is you want it to look like it's naturally growing out of the container. And your arrangement will always look good. So now I'm going to go in the 4 corners again, under the corner blooms. Right like that. So I'm going to take one of each, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut them a little bit shorter. And we're going to go right in the corner. So how is everyone today? Middle of the day, it's a weekday, so it's hard to find people that are around, but is anyone going to actually make something for their table for Easter? Be kind of neat to see. See, it's not letting me see your, Helen's watching. Hi, Helen. Hi, Betty. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Azalea. Quite a few more people. Paula. So, who's making something? Are you guys going to decorate your tables? Do people do that? Like us, I don't know. We might just barbecue and hang outside this weekend, so I don't know how much decorating I'll be doing for it, because we're kind of going to be casual. But it's fun, especially when you learn how to make things like this. Then you can go a little bit crazier with your decorations, especially if you can make it yourself. And like I said, not only if you can make it yourself, but then you can use it after the holiday. Keep using it all year round. So this is primarily white, but so I think I mentioned fall. Like you could add little pumpkin gourds or maybe some fall leaves to it, etc. But you guys, I mean, you can take it into Christmas. This is white. A lot of the whites are super popular. Maybe add a few touches of Christmas greens and some Christmas bulbs. How pretty would that be? So pretty. So like I said, this is a year-round arrangement. So think about that when you're looking at picking up something. I mean, I love going to the stores during the holidays, all holidays, and they have such cute things out that are so specific to the holidays. But then I think, where am I going to store that, right? Who else? Anybody? Where am I going to store it? So if you end up having a different arrangement for each holiday, where are you going to put it? And hope it doesn't get damaged while you store it. So this is a good alternative. So I hope it helps, because this is what I kind of try to do. There are some things at times that I will go and I will splurge, you know, or make me something specific for Christmas. A lot of times I have a huge dough ball, so I'll change out the ingredients, you know, but it's easy for me because I have all the stuff. But, you know, sometimes I don't even secure it. I'll just like loosely put it in. So, okay, so now we have our 4. See how this is coming together? So there's the base of our greens. I just put one bundle of 2 on each quarter under those blooms. So now I'm going to come to the front and back too. Just so we have that. A little bit coming over the very front on each side. And I'm cutting these a little bit shorter because where it comes out in the middle, I don't want this fern traveling down to the table too far. So just a little bit. Put my little bends on them. I try to bend them too a little bit before I actually put them in the container, so that as it gets crowded, if you get into the habit, you guys, of bending them, once they're in there, you're going to end up shifting your other stems. So try to put your little curves on them before you actually secure them. So now the entire base has fern. How easy was that, right? And we still have a few pieces left over that we're going to add at the very end. Once we get everything in, we see where we need a little more of a touch of the fern green, we'll do it. Okay, so that was that one. Now we're going to add some of the eucalyptus. So I'm going to put my little picks on there, and we're going to go on either side of the top rows, or what is that? Cabbage rose, peony, whatever it is. Anyway, your middle flower. Just go on either side of it, right like that. Okay, let's grab a couple more. I love these too because they have the little seeds on the top, like, it just makes it really interesting, different texture. This is one of my favorite fillers, by the way, from Hobby Lobby. Really, really easy to use. Okay, so now that we did those, we're going to come on top of the corners, you guys, the corner ferns. So now we're coming between the flower and that fern. See how I did right there? So we're going to do that in all four corners. Super easy. And if you didn't catch all of this, or you're watching this on replay, just to let you know, at 1 o'clock, I gotta watch the time, at 1 o'clock I'm gonna be live on Instagram building this again. I have one more container, so we're gonna try to build this one more time. Hopefully Instagram doesn't put restrictions on me. So, trying to get some lives done. I've been gone for a couple months, so I guess things have just changed and I need to catch up, so. And I will, eventually. Okay, so let's add another piece of this to that corner. But if you follow this design, this can translate to any arrangement, any color, any season. So it's pretty easy step by step. Okay, see? So we have that eucalyptus under each big flower in the corners. There's a piece there, piece there, piece there, piece there. One on each side. See? Totally broadcasting it throughout. Okay. So I have more here. I'm not going to add any more of that right now. So the last green I need to add is this green. But this is the green I'm going to add at the very end. We want to get the rest of our flowers in. So let me clean up my mess here. We're going to add the little white ranunculus now. So they're right here. These add such great interest to your arrangement. So I'm going to be doubling these. So it looks like little clusters of them growing in your arrangement. Right like this. Now, if you don't have a stemming machine, just grab them and stick them right in your foam. Add a little glue to the bottom. Whether you use a glue skillet or your glue gun, stick them in. I'm going to add a metal pick. And the first thing I'm going to do is come right between the middle and a corner. Remember, this is symmetrical. So it doesn't matter which middle, which corner, because I'm going to do it to all of them. So we're going to just add a pick, or we're going to put them right in. Same thing on this one. Middle and a corner. Stick it on in. So you're going to have little clusters of these in the middle of your arrangement. Easy, easy peasy, you guys. Any questions? You guys shout out some questions to me. Tell me what you're thinking. But you break it down like this. This took one bunch of those white ones to create. So pretty much one bunch of every element that I showed you. Okay, so there's 4 sprigs of it in. Look at that, how easy. Looks like they're growing out of the middle, right? So easy. We have 3 left over, so now I'm going to put these 3 aside. These will be added as individuals, but first I'm going to add these guys. This is that kind of olivey color. Olivey, is that a word? Is that a word, you guys? Olive colored. These are great. These we will not double, we're going to add singles. What I like about these two, see how it's a long branch like that? You guys, most of the bottom half of this stem is going to be hidden in the other flowers. So bunch it up, push them up. They have the ability to push up to the top and make it a thicker bunch at the top, almost like a little topiary. How cute, right? But this way, these will be seen and not be hidden in your arrangement. Another tip there. Hi Marion, thanks for joining. So we're going to put a stem on that now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right into the middle. I'm going to make that a little shorter, make it too tall. Right underneath, right in the center, underneath the center flower. Right like that. We're going to push these up and do that on both sides. Fingers aren't working. Okay, we'll turn it around to this side, right in the center. Then we're going to put some out on in between the corners on the sides of the arrangement. Push your flowers up. Right in there. This is also hiding all the holes in your arrangement because yes, you get holes where you can see down to the foam in the bottom of the container. So adding another element is kind of like closing all those little gaps up. Make sure I keep my design. Flowers will shift when you're building, so just push them back into their places as they shift. Okay, so we've got that side. So look at, this is just with 4 pieces. Look how cute, but can you see how that color and texture just adds interest? Okay, so now that I've got those in, that was only 4 pieces. Let's add back in a few of these. So those are pretty much in a design, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that with the whites? So now I want to break it up. I don't want it to look too structured, okay? This is kind of like an English garden arrangement. So let's just add a few hanging out. Maybe one over here on this side between the eucalyptus and the fern. See how it's peeking out the corner there? So this is where you can be creative, you guys. Wherever you think you need a little touch of white, break up some of the green, just do it. Doesn't mean I'm going to go in the same place on every side. Okay, this one, I think right down in the center in front where the olive green kind of stuff was put. So look at how that looks on the front and side. I add 2 extra little pieces and I have 1 more. So I'm like, where do I need 1 more? I mean, I can grab out of another bush. Got one sitting here, but if you can, don't do it. You guys, don't overstuff your arrangement. And you need to really lay out your items, what you're using, and stick to it because you can keep going and going and going and adding more, but you're going to up your costs, especially if you resale, or blow your budget if you're making something for yourself. So I think on this, rather than going to the side, I'm going to go right in the center again. Right like that, because that was a good look. So see, now this side just has it in the center, but not on the sides. That's okay, because you go over to this side, it's on the center, not on that side, but on that side. That gives it a good natural look. So don't go, oh, I put it on that side, not the other. Does not matter. Go into any florist or look online on Pinterest. Things are not absolutely perfectly symmetrical. And when you're not symmetrical, that's when you have a custom look. So we start with a pretty structured design with the 5 flowers, but then we fill it in, not so structured, and then you get the custom look. And we're done. You guys, how easy. Who could do that? You guys think you could do that? I think you could build an awesome arrangement for Easter and beyond. And like I said, Easter, add some eggs, add some little bunnies, anything that you can just kind of nestle in here and not really disturb the arrangement that you can take out afterwards, move on to the next. 4th of July, little flags. There's so many things you can do. Little gourds, for fall. Maybe some little ghosts or little witches for Halloween. Add some orange in here, you guys. Move into Christmas. Add some Christmas bulbs. Those are really easy. You know the shatterproof bulbs? Just take them and just push them in and recess them a little bit, which looks good. You could even add a little bit of Christmas greenery. Just a few sprigs is all you need to get the look. So I hope this helped you. I hope you guys make something for this weekend and beyond. And if you do, please post it. And also, if you like these videos, I'm going to try to share more and more. Please like them when you watch them. Please share them. It helps me grow my page. And then hop on over, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. And I do have a website. There's nothing for sale in my store right now. I'm getting back in the swing of things, but there will be soon. It sold out to bare bones, so I've got to get busy. And also, this will be available in Trends Vintage Marketplace. This Saturday is their grand opening. I'm so excited. So I will have several of these available. I might make some more with some bunnies. We'll see. But anyway, a lot of good goodies coming up, and I'll be posting some more of the items that I made for Trends yesterday. So anyway, if you want to see this made again, join me at 1 on Instagram. Thanks for following me, you guys. Thanks for watching today. Remember, like, share, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.